Motion man is Pickens. First down, Pittsburgh. Trubisky, play fake. Off the tip ball, it's intercepted by Mills.
Welcome back to 5-Star Matchup. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button now and consider joining as a member on YouTube or Patreon to support the show. Well, for the first time this season, we're back in the Burgh and ready to dance with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, who wouldn't have needed to videotape our practices even if they wanted to. Looking like a shortstop, Trubisky slides and just barely overthrows Muth. I think he could have held onto it another tick and found Deontay, but so be it. Money Mitch is trying to push it deeper. Live to fight another possession. First possession for Mac Jones, who has enough time to both plan and execute an extremely fancy dinner party, decides instead to dump it across the middle to Jakobi Meyers, who doesn't have a defender within 7 yards of him for an easy conversion. Why even play defense when they got, checks notes, Nelson Aguilar and Jakobi Meyers out there? Dealing early, Little Mac is playing much more like Big Mac, and who could blame him? He's got Matt Patricia in his ear? PSA, please, don't ever put Matt Patricia in your ear. Steelers D finally wakes up on a 3rd and forever, and Pats take an easy 3 for what feels like an insurmountable 3-0 lead. What would you say is harder to do, moving the earth and the heavens, or getting 3 yards on the ground on a 1st and 10 if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers? Thanks for the stats, CBS. I hate it. Uh-oh,
Juke alert.
Money Mitch puts Matt Judon on
Skates.
Maybe starting to feel himself, Mitch throws a dart to Deontay for a conversion, and maybe the Steelers offense has a faint pulse.
Win a ball game or two. Motion man is Pickens. First down, Pittsburgh. Trubisky, play fake. Off the tip ball, it's intercepted by Mills.
And here's where things start to get a little problematic. While Mitch had, to this point, avoided the major mistake, this is a real oinker of a pass from the 6-year vet that you just hate to see. First off, despite staring down his target the entire play, he somehow misses the guy in the white jersey directly in his line of sight and chucks it right into trouble for the obvious and easy pick. Blame play calling, blame the line, blame whatever you want, but Mitch has time and a clean pocket and without question predetermined where he was going before the ball was snapped.
Terrible.
Remember that stat about this being the first Patriots-Steelers game in 24 years without Big Ben or Tom Brady? Well, you can say that again. 3rd and 5, Mac's on the attack, but he lofts a cupcake of an interception for the Mink Man, who you know can put down a cupcake in a single bite. Love to see it for the early Defensive Player of the Year candidate. If I was a quarterback, I'd probably go ahead and, not throw it near number 39. Into the second quarter now, and more of the same for the Steelers' run game, just nowhere to go. Nice completion of Deontay on 3rd and 10 here, and I guess if you want to give credit to one facet of the Steelers offense, it would have to be that they did somewhat better on 3rd downs, at least early in this game. Still, I do think you can see Mitch feeling a little more pressure than is actually on him here. Step up, my man. Speaking of pressure, look at all this window dressing that does absolutely all to persuade the Patriots defense that anything unique is happening, and Mitch is left with absolutely nothing to do but eat the sack. But you know what they say, nobody likes 3rd and 17 like Money Mitch, and here he's wheeling and dealing to noted best player on the Steelers offense, Mr. Deontay Johnson, who benefits from what I think might just be a little bit of a generous spot, but we're not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth when we're trotting out an offense that hasn't finished a game with 300 yards passing since week 17 of 2020. Remember that?
He throws it long down the field. There's a man open. Deontay has it at the 10-yard line.
'Cause you know I'd run 1,000 miles if I could just get 1 yard.
Thank goodness Najee is taller than a skyscraper, but what are we doing here? There are 9 guys in the box. I heard Charlie Batch say with conviction that the quarterback in this offense is not able to change the play at the line, and if that is the case, then I ask once again, what is the point of going with the veteran option? What was I saying about veteran stuff? Remember how you used to hear that Cordell was still learning the playbook? Well, Trubisky and Canada apparently are still learning the play clock. Look, I'm not going to tear apart every single thing he did, but I'm just getting out in front of it because I know there will be some in the comments saying, well, yeah, Steve, but you gotta admit the line sucks. No doubt, but look at this. There's no one within 5 yards of Mitch. How about moving around? How about setting your feet? Is he eating sunflower seeds on the field? What is he doing? He's rushing when he doesn't have to. Of course you're not gonna hit anything deep if you bail on the play this quick. Just in time to shut me the fuck up, Mitch slings a true biscuit to Chase the Bank, who definitely needs more targets in this young season, and the Steelers are in business with a convertible 3rd and 4. And did I say convertible? I meant impossible.
From the gun, Trubisky in trouble. Trubisky is sacked.
And the offense settles for a hard-fought 3. As Eric Bischoff once said, controversy creates cash, one of the only nice pressures of the day for the Steelers D, who cooled off without their star today. Alright, it's 3rd and 26. I mean, it's Mac Jones. It's not like he's Peyton Manning or something. With enough time to wind the mechanical watch that his grandfather gave him for his 13th birthday, Big Mac politely chooses Randy Moss, Jacoby Myers, for the major almost oops by the Steelers D, but still, that's 20 yards of field position. Death, taxes, and shovel passes. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Why throw when you can shovel? Speaking of shovels, someone get one out for this run game, please. 3rd and 3 now, and Trubisky finds that man they called a bank for a tight conversion, and with 5 minutes to go in the half, is it finally time for the boys to get in sync? Patriots rush 3 on 3rd and 7, and they might as well be rushing 9 on a 3rd and 46 because this offense is just downright funky in all the worst ways. Do you remember when the Steelers offense used to be funky but in the right ways? Yeah, it's starting to feel like it might be time to clean out the proverbial fridge, if you catch my drift. Only putting this one in to give a shout out to Presley Harvin and let him know that I am praying for his leg. Now, I'm no X's and O's guru, and I never claimed to be, but I will say no matter how you slice it, it sure looked like there were a ton of completions on Akello Witherspoon. Am I wrong? Nice open field stick by Bob the Brick sets up a crucial 3rd down as time ticks in the first half.
Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. We're down to 30 seconds to go. Jones, step, dials up, deep ball. Oh, what a catch! Nelson Aguilar!
Look, ma, no hands, shouts Akello, to which Omar Khan should be responding, please stop shouting, I'm on the phone with Drew Rosenhaus. Yes, hi, would Joe Haden like to come back, please? Thanks. No other way to put it but an absolute dagger in the hearts of Steelers Nation as the half winds down. While none of it has been pretty, at least a 3-3 game feels like you're in it. Suddenly a 7-point deficit feels like it did in the days of the Duck, and I should know, I was here, doing this. Shockingly, the Steelers refuse to wave the white terrible towel with a great pitch and catch from Trubisky to Pickens, but a miss to an also open DJ leads to a laughable foot race with Matt Judon, and the Steelers peacefully roll into the half like a roll of armadillos at snack time. Friendly reminder, if you like what we do, please consider joining us as a member here on YouTube. There's a button below, or consider our Patreon for a couple bucks a month. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button to catch 5-Star Radio live during the week. Now roll the game. More of the same old song and dance from the Patriots offense and the Steelers defense. He's basically just standing back there and slinging the rock over the middle at a leisurely pace, like an old man driving a Cadillac. Slow and steady, but unrelentingly forward regardless of the presence of defenders or school children. Luckily, Jones misses a pair in a row and the Pats are left to try a 52-yard field goal. Even luckier still, Folk shanks the kick, and somehow the Patriots are leaving the door wide open for Mitch Trubisky and the Steelers' freak show of an offense. Now, I'm not gonna start dissecting the run game because I don't have the chops or time, but doesn't it look like Naj might have missed a hole here? Either way, Steelers' run game continues to cut like a cold knife through frozen butter. Quality throw by Mitch outside the numbers to the always open number 18. Isn't the razzle supposed to dazzle? Steelers with more useless window dressing to set up a play filed firmly under never going to f***ing work, followed by the old trusty run the receivers into each other, and this bastard stepchild of a drive ends with a kick. Luckily, you already know the Boz man is... And against all odds, it's a 4-point game. Patriots 10, Steelers 6. It's crazy how when the Steelers do stuff like this, nobody moves, but when their opponents do it, everyone does. Is that why Canada thinks he can get away with it during games? What is happening during practice? 2nd and 9, and Mac Jones is clearly not at his best when on the move, and he makes an ugly throw right in the hands of slightly off the button Sutton, who I've checked. Makes this catch in 97 out of 100 simulations. With enough time to watch both Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, it's Mac who's here to attack, and he flings,
Ooh, just barely incomplete.
and it's back to the Steelers' refrigerator box of an offense. Wait, a punt? 5-star, this can't be good, can it? No, my friends, it is not. And I don't want to be the first one to call this sabotage, but I also don't want to be the last. If Gunner is indeed compromised, Mike T better take action. I don't want to say this is the straw that broke the camel's back, but I am gonna say it's a significant piece of straw, and the camel's back is indeed broken, and things of that nature. Do with that what you will. Pats take it up the gut on 3rd and goal, and just like that, this is a 17-6 football game. All right, Mitch, you want to shut up those boos? It's time to respond. Nice dump off to the Naj man gets him moving, and a little reverse to Gunner, who's putting on his best Limas suite in the AFC Championship game impression, and maybe, just maybe, there's the faintest bit of a pulse coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers' loveless marriage of an offense. Naj finally gets it going with a brutal run up the gut, followed by a beautiful pair of maneuvers, leading to a 1st down. Trubisky waits and finds a literally always open Deontay Johnson, and I hope you brought an iron because my suit is wrinkled and we're entering the business zone. First play of the 4th, and it's the play of the day for Money Mitch, who rifles a laser to the Muth man for the Steelers' 2nd offensive touchdown of the season in their 8th quarter of play, but who's counting? And don't look now, but your Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to back this rimless jalopy of a hearse they call an offense into another horrendously ugly win. Steelers surprisingly go for the early 2-point attempt, and it's another nice pitch and catch from Mitch to DJ, who gets a knee and an elbow down, and somehow, someway, this is a 3-point game with 15 minutes to play. Unfortunately, it's just more of the exact same on the defensive side for the Steelers, and here I was thinking Tom Brady being gone and us having a totally different defensive coordinator would make a difference. Something definition of insanity? Just big, lofty pockets and guys wide open down the middle. Mac Jones probably hit more guys down the middle in this game than Mitch Trubisky and Ben Roethlisberger have since the start of last year, if I'm being totally honest. Jones mercifully misses one on 3rd, and the Patriots punt it back to Mitch Trubisky and the Sour Patch Kids. First they're sour, then they're also sour? Wait, that's not right. Are you telling me the Steelers' offense is more sour than Sour Patch Kids? What about this doozy on 3rd and 8? Remind you of anything? Dear Lord, Presley's leg is getting tired and it's only week 2. Get that dude an IV. Steelers D finds its backbone with one last stop, and the Patriots punt it back to Mitch Trubisky as they chortle to themselves on the walk to the sideline. Alright, this is Steelers time, right? Even in the days of advanced stage Ben, this is when we're used to the Steelers pulling some magic out of their asses and walking off with a dub despite being the lesser team for about 59 out of 60 minutes, right? I'm begging of you, Mitch, Matt, Mike, give me a reason. Let's go take 6.5 minutes off the clock and score a touchdown. First down, and unlike the Patriots who trust their quarterback, it's the Steelers who don't. They instead choose to run into another 8-man box and get the clock moving as though they even dared to envision a future where this Chevy Spark-powered offense was getting more than one first down. Here it's another almost predetermined dump and pray to Najee, not to mention an ignored Deontay who might have been able to make a move in the middle. And hey, I didn't even think of it this way, but when Matt Canada delivers his game plan every week, does he dump it and pray that Mike continues to not realize he's a clown shoes college coordinator who may or may not be in over his head? Either way, that sets up our 5-star
Play of the game.
You have to hold the ball longer and wait for routes to develop in order to pick up first downs. This is a 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. Trubisky floats it up. Najee Harris can't squeeze it. Oh, the coverage was outstanding, Matt.
How about stepping up into the pocket? How about scrambling and buying some time? Maybe Muth comes free. Maybe Deontay does. Whatever the case, I don't think lofting a deep jump pass to the halfback, no matter how athletic he is what you'd call a slam dunk play call for a gotta have it 3rd and 2, is it? You know the worst part about this play is that whatever you want to blame it on, it just sucks. It's another off-balance throw from Trubisky. I don't think he ever really considers any other options, and most importantly and painfully, he just flat out misses the throw. I know the rush is coming, but this is actually an awesome route by Naj to break open, and the only reason it gets broken up is because he has to come back to the ball. So I ask once more, as I have since the preseason, what is the point? That's what I keep coming back to with the Mitch Trubisky era of Pittsburgh Steelers football. Let me ask you a question. We all acknowledge that Ben was diminished last year, right? Do you think the version of him we saw last year pulls out a win in this game? I do. What about Mason Rudolph? Even if you're screaming at me right now for insinuating that, you know it's only touching a nerve because it's at least a close enough comparison. And the bottom line is neither Mitch Trubisky or Mason Rudolph is winning a playoff game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And just like Mitch keeps predetermining his throws pre-snap, these first couple weeks of paltry offense by the Steelers, who feel much more like they're trying to protect a quarterback than they are trying to unleash him, have just about determined that his time as the starting quarterback will be woefully brief and/or painful. Will people chanting for Kenny help Trubisky? Of course not. Does it make them wrong? Not really. See, athletes are humans, I acknowledge that, and it's why I'm doing my best to be at least somewhat reasonable when I talk about this situation. But we're talking about an offense that has now scored 1 touchdown in its last 18 possessions since going up 17-6 against the Bengals in Week 1. Of course people are going to start getting antsy, and of course he's going to start feeling the pressure. By the way, you know what happens here. It's death by paper cuts and the Patriots exhaust the Steelers D, which has played something like 340 snaps in the first 2 weeks, so excuse me for just a moment, I'm going to keep ranting. So here's where we're at, Steelers fans. We're talking about an out-of-rhythm passing game, a quarterback who's not making great decisions and exhibits poor mechanics, who through 2 weeks has had a minimal impact with his X factor, which was supposedly mobility, plus he's straddled with coaches who clearly aren't trusting him, play calling that flat out sucks, and 15 more games to play against the Josh Allens and Tom Bradys of the world. Yeah, don't love that. All this to say, of course, that after 2 weeks, your Pittsburgh Steelers are 1-1 and seated atop the AFC North. It's not all bad, folks. I don't expect much to change on a short week, but let me be the first to tell you, if it's more of the same on Thursday, if I was Mike T, I'd be considering my options come Friday morning. But that's a story for next week. On to the Browns. Here we go. And if you're still here, please consider joining our Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube to support the show. Thanks for watching and see you next week.